name did your family force on you that nearly ruined your life? My real name wasn't Emma. It was Gertrude. Yeah, a 16-year-old girl walking into high school every morning with the name Gertrude. My parents didn't choose it because they liked it. They chose it because my great-aunt's trust said that if the oldest granddaughter carried her exact first name until she turned 18, she'd inherit almost $200,000. To my parents, it was an investment. To me, it became a prison. When I was little, I didn't understand why people laughed whenever adults introduced me. Mom would proudly tell everyone, "She's named after Aunt Gertrude." It's an old family tradition. People always smiled politely. Then they'd look down at the little girl wearing princess shoes and rainbow backpacks like something didn't add up. First grade was when everything changed. The teacher paused during attendance. "Gertrude Collins?" The room went silent. I slowly raised my hand. One boy whispered, "Isn't that an old grandma name?" The entire class burst out laughing. From that day forward, I wasn't just Gertrude. I was Grandma. Kids asked if I needed a walker. They pretended to knit whenever I walked by. Every birthday card from classmates had wrinkles drawn on the front. I begged my parents to let me use my middle name, Emma. Mom refused every single time. She'd say, "It's only a name. Stop being dramatic." Dad always had the same response. 4 more years. It'll all be worth it. Worth it for who? Certainly not for me. By middle school, I'd mastered the art of becoming invisible. I never volunteered. I avoided introducing myself. Whenever substitute teachers read attendance, my stomach tied itself into knots because I knew exactly what would happen. They'd say, "Gertrude?" Someone would fake a coughing fit. Someone else would yell, "She's probably taking her afternoon nap." Even teachers sometimes laughed before apologizing. One year, I tried secretly writing Emma on every assignment. For almost a month, nobody questioned it. I finally felt normal. Then report cards came home. Mom marched into school the next morning demanding they stop, encouraging disrespect. Every teacher was instructed to use my legal name only. She made sure everyone knew. High school was even worse because social media existed. Someone found my name in the yearbook before freshman year even started. A fake account popped up called Grandma Gertrude. Every week, they'd post edited pictures of me with gray hair, dentures, or rocking chairs. Thousands of students saw them. I'd report the account. Another one would appear. I stopped taking school pictures. I quit theater because hearing the director call my name in front of everyone made me want to disappear. The worst part? I actually loved acting. It was the one place I forgot how miserable I was. Until they reminded me. Junior year, I auditioned for a summer acting program in New York. I made the final round. The director loved my performance. Then she glanced at my application. She smiled awkwardly and asked, "Gertrude, is that your grandmother's paperwork by mistake?" Everyone in the room laughed, not cruelly, just enough. I completely froze, forgot every line, walked out before finishing the audition. I cried in the parking lot for almost an hour. When I got home, I told my parents I didn't even want the inheritance anymore. I wanted my life back. Mom looked at me and actually said, "Do you know how many people would happily be teased for $200,000? That sentence changed something inside me. I realized they weren't protecting me. They were protecting the money. So the day I turned 18, I didn't tell anyone where I was going. I drove straight to the courthouse. I filed the paperwork to legally change my name. Emma Grace Collins. For the first time in my life, the name on the form actually felt like me. My parents found out that evening. They were furious. Not because I was leaving home, because changing my name before the trust was distributed meant I no longer qualified for the inheritance. They kept talking about the money they lost. Neither of them asked why I'd been crying in my room for almost 10 years. A month later, something happened neither of us expected. The attorney managing my great-aunt's estate asked to meet me. Apparently, she'd left a handwritten letter that nobody had opened until after my birthday. It said she only wanted the inheritance to go to someone who was proud to carry her name, not someone who was pressured into it. The attorney had read about my legal name change and wanted to hear my side. For the first time, an adult actually listened. I told her everything. The bullying, the panic attacks, the fake accounts, the auditions I quit, the dreams I abandoned. When I finished, she sat quietly for a minute before sliding another envelope across the table. Inside was a personal gift my great-aunt had set aside outside the trust. Not $200,000, but enough to pay for acting school. She'd written one final note. "No family legacy is worth losing yourself." I still keep that letter framed above my desk. And every time someone calls me Emma, I answer without hesitation, because after spending 18 years trapped inside someone else's decision, hearing my own name still feels like freedom.